Hey, this week we're going to talk about mashing, and we're going to talk about specifically mashing your quads. So I've got a volunteer here lying on the ground, and we're going to look at how you can help your friend, and we kind of showed this before, and you've seen this on the mobility ward, and we're going to see how you can do this by yourself and how you can do this with a friend. So if you do have a friend, lucky you can start by, basically if you want to work the quads, you're working this whole area in here, and what you can do is just start by getting them, just relax that leg for me, get them to just kind of relax a little bit. When you mash, you've got a couple areas that you can use. You can use the kind of the front of your foot, or you can use the heel. If I want to use the front of my foot, I can just kind of bring my toes up, start on the outside, create a kind of good fixing point, and then just push over on that muscle. You can look your friend in the eyes, but it's only awkward if you look in the eyes, and then come back. So I can just use that front of the foot. What I'm really trying to achieve is I've got those two muscles that pin down together. There's adhesions between the two surfaces, just trying to slide one in relation to the other. So I could just start with that front of the foot and just use it to roll over. You know that your friend is afraid if they're shaking a little bit when you do this. Okay? Or I could just start with the middle part of my foot, put some pressure on, and then roll all the way over. That's a happy face there. Good, and I can just find different areas, work on different areas on those quads. Now, the other thing that I could do is just start with my heel. Got a couple of things I could do here. I could just put pressure on one point, kind of gauge their happiness, and either just stay there and let them relax, or I could just put some pressure on and again shear that surface one over the other. And this is probably the better thing to do. Now, not all of us have good friends like Anne does here. So if you don't have a friend, don't worry, you have a friend. You can use a kettlebell to do the same thing. And because we want to tie in the movement to anything that we do, if I take my friend the 20 kg kettlebell, I can go ahead and put it on my quad, push it down, and then kind of pull it backwards to create a kind of fixing point. And I can just do extension and flexion, back and forth. I can also just tip the kettlebell on its side and create a little bit firmer contact point and do the same thing, just go back and forth. The other options that I would have is I can go here all the way to the side, find a point, and I can roll the kettlebell side to side. I can roll the kettlebell while doing the same movement, so I can combine the two things. I can also go close. You've got that suprapatellar pouch just above your kneecap. I can go close to that suprapatellar pouch, put some tension in there, and now do this movement. It's really good, especially if you had any swelling on your knees, to kind of get rid of the residual tightness and tension around that area. Now obviously if you're a man, you're not going to use a small 20 kg kettlebell, so you've got the 24, which obviously means more pleasure. And you can use that 24. It's a little bit more effective if you just go side to side than that 20 was, and you can still do that same kind of shearing motion, separating those surfaces in here. Real men don't use 24s. They use at least 32s. There's a 40 kg as well, but I'm not that much of a man. So 32, and now you can really start to get some good effect just by moving the kettlebell around, or you can create a fixation point and just move around that. So again, go hunting where you feel that there's tension. This obviously works to any other different body part as well. The quad is kind of an obvious one to do, and especially if you've been squatting a lot lately, doing anything like that, box jumps or jumping, it's going to be a great drill for you. So be a man, use a 32.